In order to continue working on our overlapping cacti, we first have to bring up our old picture. So right here you see a file folder with a paper sticking out. You're going to click on it and it's going to open a new window. Now it's kind of tough to find the picture you were working on here, so you have to make sure you are in Downloads. It's the same blue arrow that you click in order to save. And then you also want to change your view here. So if you just have words, you're going to want to change it up here where there's this upside down triangle to large icons. And then from there, you can look through and find the picture that you had been working on. And then import it as an image. Once you're here, you can continue working. Now, the very first thing I'm going to do with this is I'm going to create a new layer. So today, every single time we're working on a new thing, we are going to create a new layer. So I go to layers and press the plus sign. So now I have layer 2. Then I go back to brushes and I'm going to change my tool. So I'm going to go over this little cotton ball and I'm going to find a color that's just slightly darker than the cacti that I have here. So I'm going to add some details to this cacti or cactus. And I'm going to right click on it. And when I right click on it, you see that it pulled up the color that it was. I'm just going to move this down to make it a little bit darker. So if you look right here, it's become a little bit darker. And I'm going to change my size about to 20. And I'm just going to put some stripes on my cactus here. It's going to give it a little bit of texture. I'm also going to put it on the arm. And then at this point, I'm going to go back to black, make my size down to 4, and go back over to this hard tool right here. I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. And then to add some spikes or thorns to this, I'm just going to put little V's on the outside of my cactus here. So I could put as many or as little as I want. But if I just keep the V shape, then it looks pretty realistic. So those go on the outside. Then inside of our cactus, it's going to look a little bit different. So on the inside of the cactus, we're going to use the letter X. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down the lighter stripes here and just put little X's to make it look like they're sticking out right there. Now, if these look too big and too harsh for you, you can also use a smaller tool. But I think for mine, I'm just going to stick with this right now. Okay. So each time that I have a lighter stripe, I could put X's. Since these are right on the end, I could just keep it also. So there's one cactus that I've added here. Now, once I'm ready to make my next cactus, just like I said, we're going to need another layer. So I'm going to come over here to my layers, add the plus sign so that I can begin making my next cactus. And I'm going to move back over to brushes. And then I'm going to keep this towards the back or the top of this little bowl because these are going to be the ones in the back. And I'm going to make a new cactus. So you don't have to make yours exactly like mine. This is just one of the different types of cactus or cacti that I'm going to have here. So I'm just going to add a couple of these. And what's most important with this one is that I have to make sure that I am closing it. If I have something that stays open, like this, if that's not closed, then all of my color is going to come out of it. So I have to make sure that anything that I have open, that I close it. Then once I have the shape that I like, I'm going to pick a new color green, so something a little bit different than what I've already used. And I'm going to use my fill tool, so that little paint bucket, to fill in each of these little areas. Now for my little flowers up there, I might use a nice orange color. I think that would be nice to fill in the inside. There we are. Now I want to add a little bit more detail to this. So I'm going to go back to my brushes, but I want this to be a little bit softer. So I'm going to go to the cotton ball and I'm going to make my size just a bit bigger. So for mine, about 20. And then I want a color that's just a little bit lighter than this green. So I'm going to right click on it so that it pulled up the color. And I'm just going to move this up a little bit to make it lighter. And I'm going to give it this sort of shiny side on each one of these cacti pieces here. And that's just going to give it a little bit more volume. And once I have this, I can again go back and add my spikes. So I think I'll make them really small this time. And again, I just like to put little V's around the outside. And then inside, I can do little X's. And then just as I was saying before, every time that you do a new cactus, you're going to want to start a new layer. So make sure that you don't forget that part. And then when you finish with your project for the day, just make sure that you go back up to the top and you press the Save Image button. So the little blue arrow that points to the blue line. Just like that.